My name is Moon Petrie, and I want to talk about archetypes and character relationship tropes. And my cat is knocking something off the table. This is kind of an extension of the work in progress tag that I just did, and I wanted to go a little more in depth on characters and their relationships in my book. So, number one is siblings who love each other but have conflicting goals. And if you have any siblings, or if you have more than one child, I hope you have learned that this is far more common and realistic than the siblings who absolutely hate each other, or the siblings who are always best friends that we see in so many stories. So I wanted to include a realistic but positive sibling relationship. Number two, a morally gray POV character. I actually didn't know that this was going to happen. I am a pantser. I didn't realize that I would be following that character, and I ended up dragged along on his journey, and it was so much fun. If you've seen my Harry Potter facts video, you know that Severus Snape is one of my absolute favorite Harry Potter characters. So morally gray characters are definitely some of my favorites. Number three, a good person who thinks that they're bad. Someone who has done something that they imagine is unforgivable. But I hope the reader can see that this character is not actually a bad person. And in fact, a bad person probably would never feel like they had done something unforgivable. Number four is a wise old woman. And I love this character. It's often done in a sage who leads you along the path, kind of hero's journey way, but is sometimes a harbinger or a warning, and she is mostly that, but I think a little bit of both. Five, this was the hardest for me to write. Completely innocent characters who are in the wrong place at the wrong time, making terrible things happen to anyone is excruciating for me. But these characters galvanize other characters, because when something terrible happens to someone who's so obviously completely innocent, it really ignites moral outrage in other characters. Six, I don't have enough fingers. Six, a stand-in mother or found family trope. So I love these. Molly Weasley is the cream of the crop, but I also just love exploring ideas about motherhood, about nurturing, about the different people that can provide the kind of care and guidance that young people need, and that there are so many different ways that that can be done. There's no one perfect mother or one right way to nurture or guide, and the teenagers in my story are in a place where they need to be taken care of, and they don't have any of their own family there. And so there are several people that provide some of that, but there's one character who's very much a stand-in mother, and in a lot of ways a typical mother archetype. 7, the evil wizard. So I love magic users in any sort of books, in any kind of tropes, and I found an evil wizard walking through the woods. And the thing that I love about this is that it's a woman. And number 8, the counterpoint to the evil wizard is the good witch. And a good witch is often a healer or a rescuer, someone who sets somebody on the right path. And this witch is a healer. And it's a man. Number 9 is a brotherly trio of friends forged by fire. The gray character, POV character, does not seem like the kind of person who would make a lot of friends very easily. But through the trials and adventures, he becomes close with 2 other male characters and forms a really close bond with them. And I think it's really important to show, especially for young boys who might read fantasy, a close male friendship is something incredibly valuable. And number 10, a happily married gay couple. They are significant side characters, and being gay or being married to each other is not a significant aspect of the plot. It's not the point of their characters. They're not there just to be gay or to talk about being gay. They're just people doing their own thing, happen to be gay. And I think that it's important for representation to not always show people struggling with their sexuality or coming to terms with it or having to come out and the struggles that can involve, but simply to see representation that this person is important for other reasons. They're critical to the plot, but their sexuality is not the point. It's simply a facet of who they are. There are plenty of characters in all kinds of books. We know that they're married or we see them with their families and they're straight. It's very rare to see good representation of non-straight couples when that isn't the point of the story. There are a few things that there are hints of, but not much in my book. One of those things is romance. There is a romance, but it's a minor thread. It's not a huge subplot. Stereotypical nuclear family. There are some, but they're not really major characters or the point of the story. And royal relationships or court intrigue. There's some, but it's not the main idea. It's not a major plot point. And it's just sort of backdrop. There are a few things that I did not do in my book at all. There is 0 nerd shaming. There is 0 falling for a bad boy. And there is 0 sexy villain or sexuality as a weapon. I found that really important, especially since my villain is a woman. I have seen that done way too many times, and maybe there's a way to do it that's not problematic, but maybe we just don't need to do that in every book. So I would love to hear from you. What are your favorites of the archetypes or tropes that I've mentioned? What archetypes or tropes do you think we need to see more of in books? And what are you writing in your book?